Hello, Glitch Reaper here, and I'm going to try adjusting a few things quickly because I think Windows Update has been messing with my settings. I know probably not that. Okay, it was just the base volume on my monitor and everything. Okay, well anyhow, this is going to be a bit different. I am in fact doing this in 16W39A, which is the first major feature snapshot of 1.11. But I'm not going to be doing a full review of it. I know there's going to be other reviews popping up, but I'd like to take a different kind of moment here. The thing is, Minecon gave me a pretty good amount of insight as to how people normally do things and how they think. And so I was thinking I might want to show the fact that I tend to do things a bit differently. I literally just don't think the same as most other people. So I was going to show pretty much about what that means. In fact, I probably should switch my game mode over back to survival just to see if I got any experience left. Oh yeah, about 25 levels. I'm good. But anyhow, some of the things I've been doing whenever I test snapshots, and I usually don't necessarily show that part because, things happen, is I go back and forth between creative and survival mode, make sure everything works, see how well it's going to work out on survival compared to, just, finding creative, things like that. But there's also certain survival strategies I tend to use that apparently a lot of other people don't. And I guess it's about time to kind of show a bit of how that works for me. But this is basically typical of me fishing. I am a big fisherman in Minecraft, and you can see a couple of very powerful bows here that I've powered up. These have been basically from 2 or more bows that I fished out randomly that were enchanted, since you can get that as fishing loot. You can see how many saddles I've gathered over time trying this out. I've got a couple of miscellaneous enchanted books that I haven't really worked on, and just look at this one. This is really confusing. Sharpness 3 and knockback 2 and power 4 on this enchanted book. I mean, seriously, would you rather do a bow or a sword with that? Gosh, we have smite 4 and fortune 3, so pickaxe or pick a good sword to whack the wither with. Either way, you'd be kind of good, but in vanilla there's no duplication, so you'd have to choose. And of course I have enchanted fishing rods that I've fished out, so you tend to get more fishing rods by fishing. That's always appropriate. But the thing is, by combining these up, I've gotten something like this. This is pretty much my ultimate bow for things I've fished out over time and combined, so it's like just wow. And I did that basically by fishing, and by combining, I mean on a vanilla anvil. This is an option. You don't necessarily have to enchant things on an enchantment table all the time. So I often tend to bypass that to get past the random factor. In other words, I'll make something how I want, and I'll just skip the enchantment table altogether. So you just take a couple of bows, pop them together, and bingo, and I just realized I have an additional enchanted book I forgot about. Oh well. Well, anyhow, I'll be moving onward to some other aspects of how I tend to do things differently over time. So this will be off for a little while, and I'll just edit this next part out for a while. Okay, and I'm back, and this is another thing that I do a bit differently. They mentioned that a lot of people try just, making structures that have tons and tons of doors, since that basically counts exclusively towards your house making process, because the rules of making a house for a village or in Minecraft is that it has to have a door, it has to have just at least a few solid blocks counting a roof, and somewhere outside the door there has to be a skyline within a few blocks. I think this structure basically counts, and this is one of my older designs that I did briefly in 1.9. You can see it has a lot of doors, but it's not basically just made of doors. Villagers are in fact going in and out of the doors. You can see I've got this cage work of end rods here. And this is because otherwise they might fall off the sides, and I've seen them basically climb up sometimes and hop over a fence or a wall. So therefore I decided, if it's more complete, it'll work out better. And I did this pretty much in survival originally. Well, at least the basic part here, but I did a lot of the cage work in survival too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But to do this well, there's one of my course forests over there from from the end. It grows pretty darn fast, so if you have a birch farm to give you additional wood, not just for doors, but for charcoal, then you can cook up tons and tons and tons of course and craft them into the blocks. And then you have enough for a structure like this in no time. And I mean really, seriously, course grows really fast. You will basically be needing a wall of furnaces to keep up with it. In fact, I think I've got at least 8 over there, actually. So it's kind of, you can see I've got a little furnace array off in the distance. So you can see what I had to do to, and you can even kind of see the birch trees behind it, actually. But yeah, this is sort of one of my designs. Now I found out, oh, that one actually did go all the way. And here I was about to mention the fact that they don't seem to get the ladders as well. But that one apparently did, so good for you, Mr. Testificate Priest. Nice shot. Well, actually, there's other factors about villagers. I mean, they're not exactly genderless. Technically, they're kind of herms. I mean, they look androgynous, so I guess that's where people get the picture from. By that, I mean, looks kind of more male. So, technically... Well, anyhow, those considerations are a totally different story. But again, part of me thinking about things more logically than a lot of people do. But anyhow, you can see how I've got the structure set up so they can gradually go up, find more doors, be protected simultaneously, and where I can just go into the structure anytime and hang out with them, and I have space to trade with them. It's nice and roomy, so I can click on them and just figure out what they got. Like, here's a librarian with an efficiency book, apparently. So he's been sort of a nice well, again, it just affects your thinking to think of testificates being like this. I know the logic behind it. They're essentially herms, but they just look... Yeah, you're even agreeing with me about this whole situation there, aren't you? Here I'm the one who was really trying to preach to people about new hermaphroditic pronouns, and I'm having a hard time using them while I'm looking in Minecraft. There's something about immersion about that. Yeah, I know, you completely agree. And you apparently want to see some fallen zombies and some gold, but yeah. You understand, don't you there? You okay, right? You know what I'm talking about? Hmm? Okay, now you're getting a little puzzled. Okay, we agree. It's the whole thing is a little puzzling. Don't worry about that now. I've got something else that I'll need to get to in a moment. I know. I'll get to it. I totally agree. Okay, another example of how I'm thinking of things differently is a lot of people think, oh, have a bucket of water that you can use to dive into, or simply avoid getting hit by trying to hit them. First, when it comes to shulker bullets, which is how you basically levitate around whenever these things happen. And I have thought, well, why not kind of go with it in a way? I mean, coarse fruit's found everywhere in the end, and it allows you to teleport safely to the ground every time. It really is a thing that you gotta consider as an option. So if you have some in your offhand, and because, swords don't have a block anymore, then typically what you can do is you could try to make sure that if you get hit, which may or may not happen here, I'm not sure. I'm trying to sight these. Got one before it hit me. Okay, that one did. Okay, I got a shulker shell there from the snapshot, so that's nice. So far I've gotten 4, and I've been rating... that is hard to see in time. But anyhow, now they're basically part of the loot and treasure of the end cities. One thing you can do is whenever you see that you're... on the upper right corner, whenever you see your different effects, you can just simply take a quick nibble of a chorus fruit before it fully goes off. I'll probably do that right now. And that way, the last few seconds, if you misestimate, like I did there, you probably won't fall that far. You can fall about 3 blocks in Minecraft before you start taking fall damage. So, if you have been flying in the air, consider using a nice, safe teleport to the ground via escape fruit. Yeah, I like calling them that too, because they are just such a great tool for doing a quick escape. And who is the guy that keeps shooting me around here? I keep hearing him, but is he sighting me from outside or something? I know that they fire homing shots, which will just keep on going until they find you. or hit an object, obviously. And yes, shulkers can cause mob battles, which is interesting. They will cause fights between each other, and with other creatures too. See, I cleared off that way. Did I clear out this way? Whoops. Darn. Oh well. I can get back up. I have plenty of food to get up there. But yeah, basically, so far I've gotten 2 shulker shells, which, as you may have seen originally demonstrated at Minecon, or maybe in a Snapshot review, the recipe is only 2 shulker shells and a chest. It has to be a vertical line with the 2 shulker shells at the bottom and top, actually. So, they, it doesn't require that many, but it does require a few. Aha, that's the guy. Rushing under. Okay, even if you hit me now, I've already got in here, which is all that really matters. Ah, okay, now I'm at the roof, or a roof. Okay, so I'm still having a good time here. Oops. Just trying to rush right over that, but it didn't work. Come on. It's also good to have a bow around these things. I need to back up and hit the guy with my bow. Now, bows take absolute priority when it comes to doing things like this. Ah, gotcha. Oh, that one really fell. That one really fell, so I need to teleport down there, actually. Yeah. Oh, already? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the shell? I know it fell off the... Oh, it fell off the other part of the side. Or was it? Where did it fall? Because it fell all the way down here. And these are precious now. The thing is, shulkers don't respawn. That's something that I always consider is renewability. And that includes things like, does a mob respawn? Or is it something you have to mine up and you can't get it again? And I'm always on the whole renewable thing when it comes to Minecraft, so I apparently missed where that fell. I'm a little distraught about that, actually, because I can't let any of these go to waste. I mean, this would be my 6th, so that means I'd have 3 shulker boxes if I was just crafting them up initially. So that's very important. I mean, these things... Another thing, they keep saying it's like a backpack. It's not entirely true. I mean, you've seen the backpacks and mods of different types, but what's really like the most is probably a strong box from thermal expansion. And they work basically just like it, because what happens with a strong box is they... Is there any other place that they could possibly have dropped this? No. I have no idea where that went. But anyhow, a strong box acts basically the same way with a few exceptions. A strong box will allow you to keep the items in it whenever you break it. But unlike a strong box, whenever you push a shulker box with pistons, it causes it to turn into an item form, which you can then use from then on. But with a strong box from thermal expansion, they don't do that. It basically acts just like a regular chest for the purpose of doing pistons and stuff. I gotta admit, trying to talk and do this at the same time is somewhat distracting. But really speaking, I'm just trying to find very particular things in here, like more shulkers. Again, there's also a rule of whenever you eat a chorus fruit, you tend to basically move in a particular way. Like, usually it has more down than up in terms of where it selects the teleport to be. So, if I were to do this now, there's a good chance I'd be downward, actually. Which is not exactly where I'd like to go. But I could try. It has some up. Hey, Enderman. Oh! That was lucky. I found where the shell went. Another quick note, remember things have a 5-minute period, so since I found that within 5 minutes, I'm actually pretty good. So I will fight through the rest of this for a while off camera, so I can concentrate on it a bit more. And then I will basically be up and about and show another thing about something I do a bit differently. So, I'll see you in a moment. And I'm back again. The thing is that this is also after having gone through one. I was curious about how many shulker shells I would get typically going through it in survival. The answer is at least 10. I may have missed some because I didn't go all directions. I was trying to aim specifically for the in-ship, which is the substructure you need to get Elytra, which will bring me up to my next subject of how I tend to think about things a little differently in Minecraft. You may also note it has, high-level treasure in here, although that's not what I'm after right now. And I already have a pair of Elytra from previous testing, although you can see that this does have some nice stuff. Now, because I already have a pair from previous testing, I won't do that, but I will show off a little something extra of how I tend to think about things differently. They say most people, even Jeb said this actually at Minecon, he said most people would basically just try to put their stuff in an ender chest, preferably one found at an ender city, and then jump off and kill themselves. Now let me see here. Where is my coordinates saying is the best spot? Because I need to figure this out very carefully. Okay, so that's a negative there. That's... Okay, I think I know which direction I'm going. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I talking about when it comes to direction? Well, you may have already seen by now that I tend to navigate more heavily with the default method rather than going all fancy with like special maps and stuff. Sometimes I don't even pay attention to maps that I gotten mod packs and just used the base coordinate system, because it's there for a reason. I gotta admit the maps in the game are pretty fancy and useful. Okay, so I need to go this way towards, well, basically back towards that, then some. Well, the thing is, these are pretty high up, and that means they're actually a pretty good takeoff point. This isn't the highest point in this particular area, but I might go for it. So I need to go this way, because there's an interesting trick to navigating in the end that you should probably know. And that is that, typically speaking, the dragon lair will almost always exclusively be at point 0, 0, 0, or close to it. So that means if you know what your basic coordinates are, like I do right now, you can navigate towards that by making sure that they're converging on that point. So I'm about to literally just take a flying leap off of here. And often these are the highest point. I mean, right now my Y is 133, which is pretty darn high up. I'm assuming base level down there is like 60. So I'm going to do this probably better off in this mode. And whoa! What is up with my Elytra? That's not normal. Is it because I'm using F3? No. I didn't notice that before. Visual bug report? Okay, that was totally new. Okay, that was new. I did not see that one coming at all. Power dive for the lift. Okay, you gotta sort of do a wave motion when it comes to doing this. A little bit down, a bit up. Power dive. And it's really good to see yourself in F5 a lot, actually. It really, I mean, third person. You can still kind of do that way. So it helps. Right now I'm getting pretty close to point 00, so I'm just flying across the Great Gap, otherwise known by some as the Great Donut Hole. And let me see, I think I need to turn a little bit this way-ish. It's a little hard to do without any particular additional visual. But I think I can kind of navigate a bit. Otherwise I will fall off or find new islands, one of the two. Maybe this isn't the... I did this before. It was perfectly fine. Whoa, I'm disappearing. Something's going on. Another visual bug. I'm in the void. How did I get that far down before anything happened? Well, it worked before. I just... I tried. I tried showing how I did that before. Maybe I should have got a bit higher first. I'm not sure. But anyhow, you can see what I did. I basically flew off towards point 00 using the coordinates. Maybe I didn't have quite the best line. And seriously, this is the last place that I slept? I really need to reset that. Oh well. Now, this is Glitch Reaper, and I hope this was a quick lesson on the fact that I try to do things a bit differently. So, I guess this is going to be bye for now. So this is Glitch Reaper. I'll be signing off, and in case you're wondering why I'm doing this backwards, it's because just look at this effect. This is totally insane. What is going on here? Seriously. This is a bug with this snapshot like crazy. My wings are every item in like different animations of. I look at the clocks and the compasses closely for a moment. They are pointed in different directions and at different states. It's like I have the pixel sheet of Minecraft on my wings, and and there's sub wings here too. That are oh gosh, hey, those are textures from structure blocks in there. That's not even. I mean, that's not even normally survival. Oh gosh, in fact, not even normally creative actually. But goodness sakes, this is insane. I've reconsidered something here. I'm going to screenshot this because this is just nuts. I've got to use this as my thumbnail, seriously. Okay. So there we go. See, okay. So this is Glitch Reaper signing off with the most crazy wing cape ever. So bye for now.